Let's do it. Hello, wrestling world, and welcome to Wrestling on the Rise, where we talk anything and everything wrestling. I'm Rich Michaels, and before I start the show, how does everybody like our new intro? I had to make some changes due to some copyright issues, so we made a new design to the logo, and we made a beat specially for Wrestling on the Rise. Shoutouts to my friend Joey A for giving me the beat. Thank you, my brother. I truly appreciate it. So let's get into it. Don't forget to join the conversation on Twitter and Instagram at Wrestling on the One, and use the hashtag Wrestling on the Rise, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Comment on the video, like the video, and let's get started. So I hope everybody enjoyed this week's in wrestling as much as I did. I mean, for all three shows in WWE, Raw, Smackdown Live, and NXT all had women's matches in their main event. It was truly something special. And first on Raw, they had a gauntlet match to see the number one contender for Alexa Bliss's Raw Women's Championship. And Nia Jax dominated most of the match until she met Sasha Banks as the last competitor. And Sasha Banks came in and beat Nia Jax to become the number one contender for the Raw Women's Championship. So she'll meet Alexa Bliss at Great Balls of Fire to see who is the Raw Women's Champion. Can't wait to see that match. On SmackDown Live, the Money in the Bank rematch, and we also had Naomi and Lana Part 2. Lana getting another opportunity to Naomi's championship, but fell short again, but had some controversy. You see, Lana's shoulders went really down for the entire 3 count. So SmackDown Live GM Daniel Bryan announced that next week there will be another rematch for the SmackDown Live championship as Naomi takes on Lana Part 3. And hopefully this goes well. And hopefully we can settle this once and for all and see which one of these women get to be SmackDown Live champion. And as for the Money in the Bank ladder match, in all fairness, James Ellsworth was banned from ringside and was thrown out of the arena. But he still found his way back in. Security slacking on that, and tried his best to help Carmella win, but as he was on the ladder, Becky Lynch knocked him off, and Becky Lynch was trying to go up to win and retrieve the briefcase, but Carmella knocked her off the ladder, and now Carmella is your Miss Money in the Bank, and fair and square, she won the match. James Ellsworth interfered earlier, but did not help her actually get the briefcase. She went up by herself and won it. So kudos to Carmella for actually being a legit Miss Money in the Bank. As for NXT, they had their first last woman standing match between Asuka and Nikki Cross for the NXT Women's Championship. These two women once again fought all across the arena. I mean, it was truly something awesome. They had some wicked moments, like as Asuka getting powerbombed into a pile of chairs on the ramp and actually hitting her head off the steel ramp. And then Asuka suplexing Nikki Cross off the ladder into an announce table and actually picking up the victory due to that move. This match had a lot of moments. I mean, a lot. Like, there was kicks to Nikki Cross while she had a trash can over her head. There was multiple times that chair shots, piles of chairs into the ring, DDTs onto the piles of chairs. Like I mentioned, the power bomb onto the piles of chairs. I mean, this was a match that should have been on a pay-per-view, but we got to see it for free on NXT, and it was something awesome. But truly, all three of these women's main event were really awesome. This WWE Women's Revolution has been the best thing on WWE programming by far. And I had a poll this past week on which women's main event you guys loved. And 100% hands down said the Raw Women's main event was better. I kind of disagree, but you guys voted. So thank you for voting. And also for the WWE Women's Revolution, they have the Mae Young Classic Tournament happening this summer with 32 of the best women's free agents in the business competing in this tournament. I will have more information for you as the weeks come to the event. Moving on now, there's actually nothing going on in Ring of Honor, But New Japan has their G1 special in USA happening this weekend, July 1st and 2nd. So you guys can check that out on NewJapanWorld.com. My Canadian fans, you guys can catch that on the Fight Network. I know I picked Naito to actually win this tournament for the IWGP US Championship, but I'm changing my pick and I think Kenny Omega will win it. I will give you the results for the G1 special next week's episode. Now, for my up and down of the week. My up for this week is the Miztourage. I like the fact that Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel is being used for Miz's entourage. I mean, The Miz is the best champion on Raw, and Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas are third generation superstars and deserve to have a shot or an opportunity on the main roster. And this is their big break, I guess. And kudos to these guys and congratulations. And the Miztourage is going to be something big. I see something coming out of this like how Edge had Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins as his edge heads or whatever you want to call it, and his La Familia and stuff like that. I see the Miz going towards that direction as he is now the Intercontinental Champion. I see him moving forward and making that belt prestigious once again. And for my down is actually James Ellsworth. Do I need an explanation? Thank you. My match of the week is actually from NXT. Hideo Itami versus Only Lurking. Only Lurking busted Hideo Itami open from his nose within 20 seconds of the match. And then due to referee stoppage, Hideo Itami was helped backstage to get stitched up, and he actually got gauze in his nose to stop the bleeding so he could continue the match. And he came back out and asked to restart the match. So Lurking came out and they had a match, and this match was pretty good. It was actually great. Hideo Itami picking up the victory in this battle, but just the whole match in general, like coming out with an uppercut and busting his nose wide open, it was awesome. Hideo Itami coming in, Only Lurking injured his leg. Hideo Itami tried to give him a break, but Lurking didn't have it, so he picked him up, gave him the GTS, and won the match. It was a really good match, and that was my match of the week. So now for what moves you? Last week's matchup had a lot of attention from you guys and a lot of votes. But with 68%, Bret Hart's Sharpshooter was truly the best. So thank you for everybody who voted on both polls last week. I truly appreciate it. But for this week, I want to have something different. And I want to have something different in honor to celebrate my new logo. I would like to know if you guys had an opportunity at a championship and a guaranteed win, which championship would you choose? Okay, the options are the WWE Championship, the Universal Championship, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, the ROH Championship, or the TNA/Global Force Wrestling Championship. You guys could vote on Twitter, or you guys could comment on the video below and tell me what you guys think. Well, Wrestling World, that is the end of our show. And before I go, I want to say Happy Canada's Day to everybody and Happy Independence Day to all my American fans. And please give us feedback on our logo and our intro video if you guys enjoy it or if you guys like it or not. I will truly appreciate that. So do that, and be sure to like the video if you haven't, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And don't forget, if you have not yet, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WrestlingOnTheOne. And always use the hashtag WrestlingOnTheRise if you're commenting. And I guarantee you next week I will have another surprise for you guys. So thank you again for listening and watching. And thank you again for your feedback. And I will see you guys next week. Peace.